My wonderful husband is taking me out for our first anniversary. Was they talking to us? To Hoosierific USA. Is that it? Oh, here's our bed and breakfast. Okay, what are we doing? How long did it take to get here?
Not very long.
How long is not very long? What are we doing sitting here?
I'm trying to, I guess I can go ahead.
What do you mean?
Because I told her we'd be here 4 o'clock.
Oh.
We can go drive around. Hearse, that'll do.
Huh?
Still have our hearse.
Where? Oh. What's this called? The parlor?
Yeah. Put a face on it here.
Is that the front though?
Yeah.
I'm going to eat you.
How you doing? Pretty good, how are you? Thanks for me. Dave, nice to meet you. Matt, nice to meet you.
Oh,
Is it okay that I record?
you record anything,
Okay.
anything you want to. First, I'll introduce you to Gravely. This is Gravely. This is our over-the-hill butler that we can't get rid of on account of the ADA. My sister and I have a little bit of imagination. In fact, they say some of us say that we're weird. But we got Gravely over in Galena, Illinois. That's where Grant come back to after the Civil War. He come back to a little shop down there called Poopsie's. My sister is the parlor poet. And I tell everybody, if you ever need poetry really, really bad, she writes really, really bad poetry. I mean, really bad. Most of it is about what Gravely's doing. One of her poems goes like, the flowers are blooming, it's a beautiful sight. Gravely's been picking the neighbors in the middle of the night. The neighbors have warned him that if he does it again, they're going to stuff those flowers where they ain't never been. Now that's bad poetry. The house was built by Charles Toole, and it was built for his bride. And he married into a wealthy family, and he was an architect. And he went out west, and he did a little prospecting out there, and he found some gold. I don't know how much, but it was enough for him to come back here and start the business with his brother and build this house for his bride, which was one of the Kendalls, and they had money. So anyway, everything about the house screams woman. And they said he was a very unpretentious man, worked 7 days a week, the whole bit. But if he had any pretension or anything else, it must have went into anything at all. It must have went into this house because the house is beautiful. But the house is for a woman. Everything about the house screams woman. Nothing in here. There's no dens or hiding places or anything like that for men. There's just totally. But I guess a lot of what he was doing was in with his business, and he had the stables and everything like that down below the hill there. And out in the backyard, you'll see steps that lead down to where and then later on it was garages where you had that. This room was the house was made of ironstone. It has concrete blocks, and it was all formed right here on site.
You want me recording your butt?
When we were working on it, we were working on the house. We would find brick in the attic and brick in the basement. We didn't understand why would he use brick if he was making the place out of concrete. Well, when we put in your bathroom and started rearranging like that, and we pulled up some of those boards, we seen what it was. The house is brick with the ironstone on the outside of it, so it's literally a fortress. Absolutely. This was a music room, and there's no talent in this family, so except for bad poetry. So we made an office out of it. But everything in here is in the same rotunda. And even the glass is, and you can see the flaw in the old glass up here. Now we have one in your room that is broke. and it has been replaced with plexiglass, and then the storm windows are plexiglass. But, we have one preacher over at Fredericktown who comes over, and they have some of the meetings and things here, and he says he wants to give all of these sermons right here because this is where he sounds the best. And I keep telling him he's going to keep on till he gives religion a good name, but he's just messing it all up for everybody else. One of the biggest, luckiest things we've had about the house is that they haven't painted the woodwork. Most of these old houses you go into, they painted these wood. And now they didn't spare the paint when they were painting around it. And you look at some of the places, and you see the little shiny places, and that's where I've dug it off and then put the, I would go back in with stain where I could. Where it was down in the wood, I used a little oil-based enamel. And that's around every door frame, everything in this place. And when you look at it, you'll see where I have some of it is the oil-based enamel, because that's all I could do with it. So it just depends on, the whole story is whatever worked is what it was. The house was built with 3 sets of pipes. It was built with the heating system, which we're still using today, the 4th furnace with the same heating system, and it was built with the gas lights. Later on, it was the first house in our county to have electricity, but it was built with gas lights, and it was built with plumbing, which was pretty unusual. In the days when it was built, now the hired help had to use the outdoor plumbing, and they weren't allowed to use the front stairs. Well, my grandmother, who raised me, worked here cleaning, and so it's her picture that's on the desk, and I hope that she raised my sister and I from the time we were a year and 2 years old, and the episodes that I have here, I think it's her. I can tell you exactly what happens to me, then I can tell you why I think it, what happened. I have an episode of someone in the dining room to the kitchen, and it happens all the time. It's a warm, wonderful feeling. Mine was here by myself, so I kept my mouth shut. Because the first thing is, my sister's, I gotta be there, she's afraid, we gotta take care of her, you know, and all like, the men are gonna make fun of me. I can handle the men making fun of me, but I can't handle my sister being worried about me. So anyway, I kept my big mouth shut. Now these are the same men that had several episodes here of their very own. But anyway, I kept my mouth shut. So one Saturday night we had guests, and the phone rang, and it was my sister's daughter, and she was standing there in the kitchen door, and I handed her the phone, and she was talking with her back to the kitchen. So I went out to check on my guests who were out on the porch. Pretty soon she said, that door. And I said, what's wrong? What broke now? And because there's always in these old houses, something's always breaking. And she said, did you walk up behind me a while ago? And I started laughing. I said, ha, 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 she got you, she tagged you, she got you. It's one of these things where I know it's a woman. Now I'm insomniac, so I'm up in the middle of the night setting tables and things like that. And she's always in that dining room with me. Now this is what happens. It's a warm, wonderful feeling when it happens. I don't understand when people start talking about these drafty, cold feelings. And when it happens to me, it's just a warm, wonderful feeling. And now that's what happens. Now I'll tell you what I think it is. I think it's my mom. I think it's my grandmother when I call mom. And I think that she's here. We had paranormal group in here, and we asked if the problem with the clocks and the doorbells, and sometimes curtains come down. And I asked if that was Mr. Toole, the owner. And he said yes, and I asked him if he's been Miss Chivis, and he said yes. So I don't know. I'm still very skeptical on all this, but we did ask Mom if it was her, and she said yes. And we asked her if she ever thought we'd own this house, and she said no. And so, but the only one who were handling the rods when all this happened was my half-sister, my sister, and her husband, who we grew up together. So, and it was just the 4 of us. The rest of them were off in the house doing other things. And I know the rods weren't anything wrong with the rods because we stayed out and they left the rods with us. So, and again, I have no idea, but it was a wonderful feeling. So that's about the only thing I can tell you. Now, Mr. Howell bought this. He had the funeral parlor uptown, and he bought this place in the early 60s, and he had the intentions of converting it over, and it would have made a beautiful funeral parlor. But he had no place to embalm. And I think he could have pulled it together if he had been younger, but he was old, he was tired, and he sold both places and retired. He said it was just too much, but he was trying to embalm the bodies up there and then bring them down here. Our great-grandfather and him was great buddies. He was a Baptist preacher, so they was always being thrown together on account of funerals and things like that. So he always wanted Mr. Howell to take care of him when he died. So when he died before Mr. Howell, and Mr. Howell did take care of him, and he actually was laid out right over here, and that's where he was actually laid out at, and he was embalmed over the other place, and they had a beautiful funeral for him. And that's his picture on top of it. But all the hauntings and the things that they're talking about all happened long before that. And it was all, everybody that's lived in this house seems like they have an episode or a story to tell, and it's all good. We've got one 13-year-old girl that when she moved in here, and when we bought the place, she was 13, and she had swore up and down that she had a man that was in your bathroom. That was her bedroom at the time, and she had a man. She would wake up, and the man was there with her, and that was her guardian angel. And you'd think a man would frighten her, but she said no. That when she knew everything was okay when he was there. So it's all good vibes, and everybody that's had episodes in the house has been that way. So we've had one couple that did leave us. They got up and left in the middle of the night. And I called them and to find out what was wrong. And they called me back and they said, "Oh," says, "well, you told us." And I said, "Yes, it's on the website." And she says, "We just didn't believe it." She says, "And it just freaked me out." She says, "I'm gonna send my parents. They're gonna love this." And I thought they had 2 small children, so I thought maybe they'd gotten a call in the middle of the night that something was wrong with one of the kids, but it wasn't it. They said the lights flickered and a bottle walked off the coffee table, and this was out in the brass bedroom. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm most frustrated because I don't believe in this stuff. But, okay. Now the house is was the first house in Orange County to have electricity, and apparently they followed the house, the gas lights. So we have, even the first one was in the brass bedroom. When we pulled that apart, we found the first gas pipe, and every one of the light fixtures, even these here on the wall, are attached to a gas pipe. So we've tried to recreate what it would have looked like, and we hope. And we went out and we put in indirect lighting on the house. That was a mess. You walk to the edge of the porch and all you got is that light in your eye. And it looked pretty good from the street, but it really never did look natural. And but it's got so many windows in it that it really doesn't need it. So it's in the basement where it belongs. We didn't spend much money on it because we hadn't quite made up our mind yet, and that's a very good thing because it would have been a waste. All the windows in the house open. All of them open, and I explained to Courtney and Julie that the one in the hall up there, we found out here just a few weeks ago that it is Tiffany. I knew it was from New York. I knew it had been imported from New York. There's all the lights in the house, like windows in the house, and that depicts what the Pottenow battlefield would have looked like in 1901. And those doors open. I've had one of them open. The other one didn't want to open. I said, "Okay, I left it alone." This is bevel-leaded glass up here, and I think it's beautiful. And this window goes up so far, it goes up so far. The area where the toe pincher's at. Now the toe pincher was donated. We had a cloth, kind of a travel casket that we had picked up just to put there, and we had one mortician come down from Soto, I think it was, and he just, "Oh no," he said, "it's all wrong, no. And he give us this one from his private collection. And we're just really, really proud of it. See how small it is? And it's from Europe. And he said this was more, the only thing is it needs to be displayed on pedestals. And I have a friend down in Cape who has a couple of pedestals, if I can get down there and get it. And they're for tables like that, but that's the way they were displayed. And with the other casket it looked okay, but really, but this area here would have been where the lady of the house would sew or do needlepoint or stuff like that, where she would have the lighting. And there was 4, maybe 5 body types laid out here. It just never did come together. But what the hauntings and the things like that, the episodes and things like that were long before that. In fact, when we bought the house, the high school teacher over here, Bo Lathan, him and I grew up together, he come in here and was telling me all about it. Started to, and I says, "Bo, don't even go there. I don't want to hear it." I says, "It's nonsense." He says, "Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with you. Your mind's closed." And I says, "Bo Lathan, I'll tell you, you're absolutely right. My mind is closed." Well, I haven't talked much about this to Bo since then because I really don't want to tell Bo what's been happening. This is Delilah. Every year, 3 years, we have a reenactment up at Fort Davidson. Well, we always have a widow. She's absolutely wonderful. She's wonderful. She goes through the grounds and she looks like she's on casters. She never talks to anybody. She just walks the whole thing over. Gorgeous. But when we got this and started this idea, everybody knew that it had been a funeral parlor, or they had tried to. So you might as well just go with the flow, because anything else is going to say, "Oh, they're trying to hide something." Well, we're not. We're not here to be Stephen King. And we certainly never believed for a minute that the house was haunted. We didn't believe that at all. But we did file for and got a trademark on our thing. Now, what that means, I'm not sure, but we're awful proud of it because we're sure it's the only one we're going to have. But back to our widow. Our great-grandmother's name was Delilah, and that's the widow's name is Delilah. Delilah died many years before our great-grandfather, but we didn't let that mess up a good story. Delilah. Delilah is an old grass farm, chicken wire in her head is a deflated basketball that we found in the yard. But my sister's got hours and hours of work in her stride, and we're really, really proud of that. This is the only fireplace in the house, and I didn't think much of this fireplace until I had a mason come in here. I thought it was kind of a plain Jane compared to the house. Well, we had one mason come in here, and when he got through telling me the house and the wives, I had a whole different opinion of that fireplace. He said that to put one in the corner like that is very difficult, and to put one in the corner that doesn't have a true corner like here is really hard. That you have to find absolute the center of the room and then draw strings to each one of those bricks. Then those bricks have to be chiseled and fixed, and I don't know what all. But he lost me pretty quick. But he said that it was narrow, out like this narrow, for the reason that it made the smoke up the chimney and the heat come out in the room. Behind the mirror there is a indentation, and it was built in. So now what it means, I don't know, but they've had a crest or they've had something in it. It was on by design. It wasn't a second thought. It was built in. And so I don't have any idea what they had in there. I'd like to know. I wish I did, because maybe we could make some kind of a reproduction of it. But as well as he loved glass, it might have been glass, which was a very bad idea with the heat coming up through the fireplace. But I might try to reproduce it if I knew what it was, but I don't have a clue. They say the true measure of these old houses is how well the pocket doors work, and we're really proud of ours. They work well, and I have never seen them with a lid glass. This is the only ones I have ever seen with a lid glass. And I'm sure they got to be out there somewhere, but and this is where we have breakfast, and breakfast is at 8:30 if that's okay, but if you have other plans, we can work around it. It's more fun for everybody to get together and have breakfast, but if anyone has any plans, and we've got biscuits and gravy. Does anybody like biscuits and gravy? Biscuits and gravy.
Who loves biscuits?
Do you? Wonderful. People have one or two opinions of biscuits and gravy. They either really like them or they really don't. So do you like it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah, okay. Bobby cooks the breakfast, and so he's the mayor. He's the mayor, and so the mayor will be cooking breakfast for you. He was just elected in May. He ran 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and we had one running for mayor that he stood right there and said that this town wasn't worth saving. This man's running for mayor, it scared me to death. And I told Bobby, I said, you've got to run. And he said, got thinking about it, he came back and he says, I don't think I can handle it. And I says, my God, man, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. What are you worried about? And so he lost by 32 votes. And I told him, I said, now you better be getting your act together because you're going to win the next time. But it's sugared. That's sugar. That's what keeps it standing up like that. It's the old world way. That one over there, the hats on the wall and the butterflies are all crocheted and they're all sugared. The old world way. We've done it as much as we can. Okay, 8:30 for breakfast. We've got some coffee drinkers, some not. We'll have it both. We'll have some nice.
Great.
This in here is all antique furniture except the chairs. We went with the antique chairs and some of them, and they were shaky, they were wiggly, so we went with the reproductions on them. And the chairs to the table was long gone anyway, so and we couldn't get enough of them, so that was that. The old china closet there, all the furniture, this is my deal. My sister does most of the crocheting. Now I crochet this, and I do some crocheting, but not like her. What I like to do is restore the old furniture, and I restore every piece of it I can. I try not to strip it because you lose that beautiful depth if you have to strip on. And each one of the rooms is in a different motif. I explained the gingerbread up there. The gingerbread up over there is Missouri black oak, and it has no finish on it at all. So the only thing I can think of is beeswax. It's all little bitty pieces, and they turn. And you can see how it slides up in there, but it turns. And so we have no idea how it's up there. So we've taken a lot of pictures because we know one thing. we figured that if we ever figure out why it's up there, that's because it come down. It's got to go back, and it's got to be on some kind of rods or something, but I don't have a clue what it is. Not a clue, and it's real shaky, and so I have no idea what's going on there. The windows in here again are from New York. And like I said, we just found out recently that they're Tiffany. We had no idea. I'm not sure what that means, but I know what Tiffany is, but expensive. But he spared no expenses in the house. That's one reason I was a little bit thinking about the fireplace. But then when I got told about that, I understood a whole lot better. These here open. Now that one looks like it's got a crack in it, but it doesn't. It's in the stern window. We had one in the kitchen the same way. Well, my husband removed it and was going to replace it. Well, he cracked the other one going back in. And I said, well, enough of that. This is not working out, so we just gave it up and left a crack in it. This is one of the original light fixtures, and when the electric came through. The one in the living room I found in the basement in a box. There was no light fixture up there. And so I found it in the basement in a box, and I restored it, and I said, put it back up there. And so we had no idea how to get the power to it. And I said, I don't care. And my sister says, well, we'll put it back in the basement for now. And I said, no, I says, it's going to go up there, or it's going home with me. And I don't care if it has power to it or not, as long as it's safe. And we hung up there for 2.5 years before we got started with the bathrooms, and that's how we got the power to it. But I didn't care. It was there and it was safe. The whole thing fits together like a puzzle.
It is.
Yeah, the shanks that come down off of it, they hook to the top and hook to the bottom. And the glass fits in it like a shelf. It's a weird light. It's a weird little light. And I went online. I thought one of those shelves is going to get broken one of these days. That's what's going to happen. The little glass shelves. And I went online and I kind of didn't have it. I never been able to find them. I'm sure somewhere along the line you're going to be able to find them in some kind of reproduction. But finding it is not going to be easy. The dishes in there. The top ones are Priscilla, and they were they belonged to my grandmother. My grandfather bought them they were through Sears, and they're eggshell china. And at that time you could buy them kind of like you can in some of the jewelry stores now. You can buy it as an open stock, and it took him several years to buy that, and that was in the late teens and the early 20s is when we did that. The second shelf is the Georgian by Home Laughlin, and my daughter's father is all built in here. And this is where the butler was at. And this is the only ceiling that has been lowered that we probably won't take back. Any of the others that were lowered, we took them back up. But this one here probably won't, because the plumbing to your bathroom is right here, and that probably won't. I would like to think that I could take it up around here and leave this, but I don't know. That it's so far down the road. There's so many other things right now.
That's the Tiffany class. Here's our room. There's my lazy butt. Close the door, okay. Oops. I didn't mean that. Okay. Hi, baby. Bam! Quack, quack. Yep. Is there anything you care to say to me?
I love you. Not being a word right.
Anything else?
No.
Hello. What's today, Courtney? Huh?
My anniversary.
Yep. And we celebrated by climbing up a 90-degree incline. Shit.
This is an elephant rock.
Yeah, you think we need to quit squaring it?
I'm squaring as I walk up.
Oh, awesome.
Actually, you know what's fun? Girls, you see that? Yeah, I see that calls me Rocco. You see that like calling me Rocco. So walk, so over here. Look. Way under there. Go on. Your leg comes to reach, sweetie. That is scary.
I don't like that.
That's good.
Emily, get under there and do what Allison's doing. Abby, you want to get under there too? Actually, Allison, scoot back so your whole body's in the shade. So if I'm taking the shade and send pictures.
Emma, come here. You want to find Abby? Abby, you want to find this spot to stay? Come on, Emmers. Bless you. Come here.
Would you mind to shoot my husband and I?
Oh, no.
Hey, get your trunk over here.
Jacob, you want to do it? You're better at taking pictures of
Oh, not a picture, just kind of
Oh.
film it for half a sec.
Sure. Is it on?
Courtney. Yeah, come over here.
What do I hit?
Nothing.
Oh.
Just record us for a second.
Go tell Mommy you need a picture of you. Look, get back. Let's get back some more. No, this is a cool picture spot. Hey, Lauren's got a picture up here. You know that? Hello. Got a picture up here in my scrapbook.
It's our 1-year anniversary today. And we're at Elephant Rock. Thanks.
No problem.
That is pretty down there.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. Is there anything over there? What are those big cave outs from? The elephants? Dude, you might want to hold the camera maybe before I jump and break it.
Walk over on that way. I'm just gonna jump back over there.
Let's just go. Courtney. Let's go. So that's where it eroded down here? You don't have anything romantic to say to me?
Climb on some rocks.
What? I only have 2 minutes left. Oh, yeah.
I love you.
That's it? That's all I get for putting up with you for a decade? Yeah, that's true.
Let me hold on to that.
No, let's leave.
I want to go down this way.
Okay. Time out.